Hi.
Oh, fuck.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 10 now of Late Night Anime.
Jesus. Yeah.
I'm Bee, that's Todd. Hopefully you know us by
Uh,
now. I don't know. Uh, but welcome. And this week we watched Spice and Wolf,
season two.
season 2. Good. Yeah,
Yeah.
just notable. Um, and there's been some pretty exciting developments in seasonals too, I think, right?
Yeah, because there's a new season that just came out.
Exactly, which is always
Ooh.
nice. Um, so I think let's start with that. That's what we
Seasonals.
do,
Okay.
right?
I'm
Yeah.
watching I've at least seen a lot of seasonals. I think okay, count the number. There's like too many on this list. I'll start with like the order that it's showing here. There's Uzaki-chan wants to hang out season two. Oh man. It's have you watched any of that yet? Or have you even
um,
finished season one?
I haven't watched any of season 2 yet for
Okay.
that,
I mean, it's the same as
but
season
I
one.
watched
It's just
season 1.
it picks up pretty much right where it left off, and it's the same show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? I mean,
Um,
really? I don't know. I don't know what to expect, and it's been a minute, so.
okay. Next show is Beast Tamer. This is top of my list. I love Beast Tamer. Beast Tamer is a good show.
Oh, really?
I think I've no, no.
I don't
I've
remember
tapped
what
out of
it's.
the show. I don't read any of the subtitles for this, and I've just sat around. And I made up my own dub for it because the show completely bored me out of my mind immediately. I don't know what
Oh,
it's
wait.
about actually
Is
because I
that
didn't look at the subtitles, but the main character's name is Rain, which is fucking stupid. And
Huh.
he's also got like way too much dandruff, so like the top part of his hair is just completely white. And then he's kicked out of like his party or something because he's like a beast tamer, and beast tamers are lame and they suck and they're holding down the party. So he gets kicked out of his party. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sad." But then he turns out to be actually a really good beast tamer, and beast tamers are actually good because they can tame beasts. Who would have thought?
Oh my.
It's yeah, definitely gonna keep watching that one.
Absolutely.
Spy Family season two.
Yep, that
That
I
is
have been watching.
the
Um,
core two.
I'm very
That's good.
excited. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
it's Spy Family.
it's Spy Family. It's
Yeah,
the
it's
kind
like
of thing I'm glad that they've continued to maintain the quality that I expected. I'm not surprised
it,
by it,
it's
you
like
know.
it's yeah. I drink water too. You breathe air.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. Spy Family. I would expect. Okay, next show. It's
um
like the thing I'll talk about with that. It's
I don't
it's
know.
good.
It's
People
just
know
really
that.
good. It's a very high quality show,
Next show.
and
This next show is
yeah.
called Bochi the Rock. The Bochi is a play on like Hitori Bochi, which means alone or loneliness or some shit. I don't speak Japanese, but it's about a girl who is very lonely.
I
And
see.
to try and cure that loneliness, she goes, "Oh, what if I learned to play an instrument and join a band?" But it turns out she just spent 3 years of her life learning an instrument and not actually interacting with people.
I
And so she
see.
just has more social anxiety. And it's funny. And then
Interesting. Yeah.
she meets a girl and she's able to join a band while she tries to overcome their like crippling anxiety.
All right.
It's a cute show.
I
Cute
think that'll
show.
go on my list. Yeah.
I give that my seal of approval right there. It's also really good looking because Cloverworks is doing it.
It's but what is it?
Bochi the Rock.
Pochi.
She plays rock. It's like K-On, but they actually play the music.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. I'll have to check that out too.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it's sick. There's only been like what,
an episode.
one episode so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that one episode. I was like, oh, this is good. This is a good show. Me like this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's also just like I do have a crippling addiction to like cute girls doing cute things shows. So,
Yeah.
next show is Blue Lock, more like Blue Cock.
What?
Soccer show. This show's about soccer, except it's
I
not really
see.
about soccer, and it's about just like a battle royale where they
What?
just go, oh yeah. So it's all the best strikers in high school in all of Japan or something. And Hiroshi Kamiya goes completely insane, and he starts a school to just trap all of these guys together. And the main character Yoichi is like he just got screwed over out of the winning goal of the game because he was told to pass to his teammate. He passed to his teammate sucks. And when Hiroshi Kami is teaching everybody, he's like, fuck teammates. You got to be a real good striker. He's got to be a complete egoist. He's got to be, he's got to only think about himself. No hesitation. Always be kicking the ball. It's all about winning. The real guy always scores the point. And he's like, I got to do that. It's me. I got to do that. And he becomes hyper competitive with everybody else. And they're all just like, the first episode involves people in a locked room kicking a ball at each other really hard. And it is
Really?
absolutely hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, no,
Interesting.
it's insanely funny.
I see.
I think it's
Yeah.
going completely insane.
So it does
I'm
sound very
looking forward to it.
entertaining.
Yeah, no, it has like
Um,
nothing to do with soccer so far, which is kind of a bonus. Because
yeah.
it's like it's the opposite of your average
Yeah.
sports shonen. Because it's all about people trying to eliminate each other by kicking soccer balls in their faces. It's ridiculous.
It does
I
sound
like it.
absurd. Yeah.
The next show is that Gundam show, the new
I
Gundam show.
haven't had a chance
I
to watch
forced
that
you
yet.
to.
Wait,
What?
which one is it?
Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury. I'm pretty sure
No.
I forced you to watch
You
like the prologue to it, right?
no, I don't think we watched that. I think we watched something else.
I think I sent you like
You sent me the
pen
link
text. Oh,
and
yeah, I
no,
sent you like
you bugged me about Chainsaw Man. Thank you very much. That's the
I
one you
booked
bugged
you
me
about
about.
Chainsaw Man. So I booked you about both of these shows. I just
Maybe.
sent Chainsaw Man later, and you've completely forgot about Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury. This is a good
You're
show.
not
This is
wrong.
a really good show. This is like the when it comes to like mainline Gundam entries, I think might be like the first one since like Iron Blooded Orphans, and Iron Blooded Orphans came out like a while ago.
Uh-huh.
Or like Thunderbolt, maybe Thunderbolt was like 2016. So yeah, it's
Mhm.
been a while since there's been a new Gundam IP that
Yeah.
has been released. This has nothing to do with the actual Gundam timeline. It just has Gundams, like most other modern Gundams, so you can just hop into it without like any previous Gundam knowledge.
Yeah.
And it's got 2D robots. The 2D robots, they punch each other, and it is sick. It
Nice.
uses 3D, and it has 3D robots, but only like at a distance. And then when they actually have the fight scenes, they just switch it up, and they're like, "Fuck you, we're having the 2D robots now." And so like the animation is really sick. It's really cool looking. Also, the
Noted.
first episode is like really similar to Revolutionary Girl Utena, which is
Oh,
funny.
yeah, huh. Interesting.
But it's cool. I don't want to spoil too much. I really like the
Alrighty.
main character. I
Yeah.
think I think this is this the first female? No. This is not the first female Gundam protagonist. I'm pretty sure there's like some shittier like TV short Gundam that had a female protagonist before
Huh.
this. But I think she's like the first mainline female protagonist.
Yeah. Interesting.
And the prologue does a really good job of explaining her character.
Interesting.
And it
All
just
right.
is like a really good episode on its
Noted.
own. You watch that and it kind of explains the little bit of annoyingness that she is in the rest of the show.
Duly
Because it
noted.
gives like an explanation to her complete anxiety and stuff like that. It's a cool show though. I like it.
Yeah. All right.
I hope it
Well,
continues to stay good and does not fall apart at the end.
uh-huh.
The
Yeah.
next show is the complete opposite and has just started as a mess. It's called More Than a Married Couple, but not lovers.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
Huh?
Um,
No,
it
that
takes
doesn't
place
sound good at all.
in this like slight future where it feels like such a trope already. Where like in this school, people are paired up and they're meant to pretend like they're a married couple and they have
What?
to live together and shit. And that's how they get like points or whatever. And if they get enough points, they can choose who they actually want to be paired with. It is so stupid.
Okay,
It is stupid.
that sounds like I've watched an anime that's like this,
Yeah,
but it was like fighting duos instead of married couples. And so this
oh.
it sounds like they've removed any interesting aspect of forcefully pairing people, and now it's just
Yeah,
forcefully
no,
pairing people.
this is like forcefully pairing people, and they don't want to be paired together. And the main character is the nerd self-insert character, and he's paired with the gal, a popular girl
Yeah.
or something, and she's annoying, and he's a piece of shit. And
Yeah. Huh.
actually, visually, the show isn't that bad though. That's like my biggest gripe with it is like you have like the most hot garbage show, and it doesn't look bad. Like there's some interesting choices they make
Yeah.
that I think are cool in the background. That's actually look pretty interesting, and then like the show itself, it just I don't even have to read the subtitles. You don't need subtitles for the show. You can just tell what's going on. You could probably guess what's going to happen over like the next 12 episodes
Probably.
because
Yeah.
it's so fucking generic and it
Interesting. Yeah.
hurts. Next show, Shinobi no Itoki.
Oh, that thing. I never actually wound up watching that. I don't think I will either. I'm assuming
Yeah,
it
there's no
hasn't
point.
gotten better.
Oh, I this entire show is made by people who have had like no prior experience
Uh-huh.
in the role that they're taking up, right? Like the director has been an episode director before this.
Yeah.
This is his first full directorial credit. The person writing for this has like no previous writing experience in anime. Um, the character designer hasn't even been a character designer before. I don't think they've been a character animation director, which yeah, I guess that translates. But yeah, it's you know this show I think would greatly benefit from having some sort of veteran
Hmm.
chief director
Yeah, that makes
at
sense.
least tell somebody something because it's just really all over the place and messy.
Yeah.
There's a guy and he lives normal high schooler life and then a girl asks him out one day and he goes to her house and she tries to kill him because he's part of a a ninja society of people and he's like the ninja prince or some bullshit.
What?
I lost track
No, that
immediately.
doesn't sound good.
I got like I tapped out. I tapped out as soon as
Yeah,
I was like, wait, what? I thought this was going to be like a really shitty high school rom com, and now it's
not.
just become confusing. It's still shitty.
Yeah.
So I've given up on that. Next show, Encouragement of Climb, season 4.
Hmm.
I like Encouragement of Climb. It's a good show. I recommend watching it. This season, though, is going to be 4 episodes of recap so far.
I see. Huh.
Like 2 episodes have come out, and those have been recaps for like the first season and the first half of the second season. And so the second half of the second season and the third season will be the next 2 episodes, I assume.
I see. So does that mean that I don't need to watch seasons 1 through 3 and can just watch this
I
season?
I wouldn't recommend
Hmm.
doing that. I think the other seasons are like better to watch alone. Maybe you could skip season 1 and watch the first episode of this season
Uh-huh.
because I think they did revamp the visuals on it. I
Yep.
mean, they're both like the same length because the first season was like 12 4-minute episodes, so they're not cutting out that much.
Gotcha.
I think the other seasons you should watch on their own. The reason they're doing this is because this is the first time the show has been an actual TV format and not just a TV short.
Uh-huh.
It's also been like what, like 5 years since the last season, 4 years since the last season, and like 8 years since the first season. I think
Yeah.
some ridiculous amount of time. 9 years since the first season.
Yeah.
I really like this show, and I'm glad it's had like that upward mobility from going from like a 4-minute show to a 12-minute show to
Uh-huh.
finally a full show.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. And the visuals, oh man, it's just been really nice to see this show go from like low budget show with like a lot of potential, but there's nothing there because it's so short to like it meeting every standard, and it's really well animated and cool looking and cute, and I like it. So I would
Nice.
recommend the
Yeah,
series
that's good. It's always
as
nice
a
to see
whole.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Next show, you've actually seen this one finally, Chainsaw Man.
Yep, I did watch that first season or first episode, not season.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Um, is it mean of me to say that it was okay?
Yeah, no, it's horrible, and I hate you.
Um,
Um, no, that's fine.
no, because I'm definitely really intrigued to see where it goes.
Hmm.
Um, I do think to an extent I have a little bit of Chainsaw Man has been hyped up a lot for me, so I was almost expecting more. Um,
I don't know what you'd expect.
I but I
Give
enjoy.
it like
Okay, no,
give it
exactly.
the show. That's
That's
like yeah, it's the
that's my
thing.
plan.
Because
Is
Chainsaw Man is like
as
easily top 3 for my manga, and
as
it's
far
yeah,
as
yeah.
episodes go, it was a perfectly okay episode. There was just nothing that made the show itself stand out to me in the first episode.
Really?
I mean,
I mean, visually, it's really fucking good looking.
that's true, except I have issue with the CGI a little bit.
Yeah, the CGI kind of goofy because Mappa would be kind of goofy, and they'd be kind of exploiting all of their workers because of
Yeah.
the capitalism moment, late stage capitalism moment.
Um,
Ooh,
yeah,
ooh,
this
exploiting the workers. Ooh.
so the CGI kind of, it was like, I noticed it. I definitely noticed it. That didn't go but I
Yeah,
don't know.
but I think
I'm
it works,
I'm
and it works in its favor for some of its action scenes, and
yeah.
it's not there for all of the action too, which I think is a good thing.
Uh-huh.
I hope it doesn't become too prevalent, but like I don't know.
I
I think
wouldn't bet on
directorially,
it.
the show is actually good.
Yeah,
It's really good. I like the shot composition. And the mood of the show itself is really sick. And the soundtrack,
absolutely.
the dude doing the soundtrack goes off. I think it's the same dude like the Devil May Cry Baby soundtrack.
Mhm.
What a cool guy.
No,
Um,
I will say this. It was good. It was good, and I'm
mhm.
excited to see where it goes.
My favorite bit of the show so far has been the opening. The opening is
Mhm.
just like total fan service, like not in like the sexual sense, but in like if you've read the manga, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like
I
salivating just watching that
I will
shit.
say
Oh my god, the character's doing the things.
I'm very sad that whatever the little tiny demon is.
Ochita.
Yeah, I'm very sad that do we get more of him later in the show?
I'm not spoiling that.
Okay. Well, that's if not, that's disappointing. Um
This is not the
definitely
story of Pochita. It's the story of Denji. All right.
sure, but Pochita's cute as fuck, so I want more.
That's
Um
true. That's true.
No, I actually did like that and it was no, yeah, I'm excited.
No,
I'm very excited.
this show gets extremely good as
Mhm.
it goes on. I mean, this is like taking off of I think like the first two chapters
Yeah.
for its first episode, which I mean it's sensibly slow and it was building up atmosphere,
Mhm.
which I think
Well,
of an
and I
adaptation
can
of these
tell.
first two chapters, it was really good,
Yeah.
and I hope it kind of I think it will speed up as well.
Well, I can
And also,
tell
just the
that it
rest of the
will
show is just
is
more
my
interesting.
thought
Yeah.
because like we kind of just from what I gathered from the opening a little bit and then um just kind of where it ended off, I think that it's going to pick up.
Also, yeah,
Um
the manga itself is pretty short.
really?
Yeah, I think I mean, it's still ongoing, but it's split up into it's in its second arc.
Uh-huh.
Its first story arc is like its own story. It could have just ended right there,
Yeah.
like perfectly fine. Like it is a fine conclusion.
Uh-huh.
I think that was like 12 volumes, which considering it goes through an entire fucking story and it was like the most popular Shonen Jump manga,
Yeah.
pretty short. Pretty short.
That's very short.
And so nothing is dragged out
Okay,
there.
I will say I'm
I
that
hope it keeps
that
up with that
really
for the
makes me
adaptation.
excited because I will
Yeah.
say that just means that at least the writing for the manga is really good because or
Oh
I
yeah, Tatsuki Fujimoto is completely insane, and I like
um
that.
just be yeah, that means that okay, it won't be dragged out. That's good. I'm
No, it's
excited.
concise
I'm
and
definitely
strong.
excited for this.
Yeah.
Um
Next show is it's the opposite of Chainsaw Man mentally. This show's called What Flops. The show is filled with like every single harem trope at once. It was like harem trope overload,
oh no.
and I really feel like there has to be some sort of like completely absurd Madoka level twist for the show to actually be good because you can't just slap me in the face with every single like he meets all five girls on his way to school in completely different ways where he somehow finds a way to like incidentally trip and sexually harass them
Oh no.
and then feel embarrassed about it and for them to hate him, and it was just like so ridiculous
Yeah.
and stupid but in like the least funny way possible to where it's just cringy. Yeah,
Oh god.
it's
I already dislike
I
harems.
I
Oh no.
I hope it takes it a step further and just goes completely insane
Uh-huh.
and it just like speed runs it. It just becomes like the worst show it possibly can be
Yeah.
in a good way.
Huh.
This next show is also pretty bad. It's called The Human Crazy University,
Yeah.
and I at least thought the show would have something to it. It's just characters talking,
Really?
but they're not interesting either.
Oh no.
Like the only thing good about it, I gotta say, is the voice acting. The animation is stiff.
Yeah.
It's been two episodes. Nothing's happened.
Oh.
It's of interest, and kind of just fall asleep watching the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Well.
really in the hot garbage section. Next show is The Eminence in Shadow. You couldn't come up with like an edgier name if you
No,
tried.
not at all.
It's, it's an isekai.
Oh, I never would have
And
guessed.
well, yeah, wow. And the main character is a Chunibyo who's like, ooh, he's like, it's the reason I find it so cringe. I think I'd like it if he was like Chunibyo, but he didn't have the powers to back it up, so he's kind of just like goofing,
Uh-huh.
and he's delusional, and everybody just believes him
Yeah.
around him, and it just like turns into funny situations. But in a way, he's too strong. He's an isekai protagonist, and
Oh no.
it's like you can't be both strong and do that and then like
Yeah.
be so self-confident because you're completely delusional. It just you can do that. I feel like you can do that, but this show doesn't. It doesn't do that right, and
Uh-huh.
it's unfunny.
Interesting. Yeah.
And also, it's really the second episode just went through the plot really quickly. The first episode is like nothing to do with the rest of the show, really.
Huh.
Like it barely even sets up the main character. It was just like apparently I looked like a comment about the first episode, and it took place. It takes place like later in the light novels, but chronologically in like the beginning.
Yeah.
To have more like I don't know, it's his backstory, but not really because it's from the perspective of another character, and the main character barely shows up in it, and it was stupid.
Uh-huh.
I guess it worked, but the second episode was just like, okay, now it's speed run like an entire fucking light novel with its pacing. It was like, oh my god, holy shit, I can't keep up. Like, why do that? What's the why?
Yeah. Huh.
It's an isekai. It's also getting 20 episodes, so I don't even know
Oh
what the need
no.
is to make the second episode so rushed and exposition heavy.
I don't what huh. Hot
um,
garbage, but like 20 but make it 20 episodes. That doesn't sound
yeah.
fun. Um
Next show is Futoku no Guild.
oh.
It's fan service.
Yeah.
It's like shitty fan service.
Huh.
It's 2 episodes, and the joke for both episodes is, hey, watch these girls get like sexually assaulted by slimes, and
Oh
it's like,
god. No. I'll pass.
yeah,
Um
yeah, no, that sucks.
yeah.
Reincarnated as a sword. This show is an isekai.
Uh-huh.
It's about a dude who gets reincarnated as a sword,
Damn.
and while
Never would
he's
have guessed.
bored and waiting for somebody to pick him up, he just like level grinds, and so he's busted, and then he's picked up by like a slave girl, or a
Uh-huh.
slave child, and who's been oppressed, and then she picks it up and saves herself, and is now a wandering adventurer with him
Yeah.
talking to her and helping her out. It has some potential to be, like good mid.
Yeah.
You know,
That does
I'll
it.
place it as like a
I
maybe
mean,
watch.
just that is an interesting like
It could be cute. It
yeah.
could be good, but it's also an isekai. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I did next show. Finally back to shows I actually like. Do It Yourself. It's another cute girls doing cute things show.
Yep.
Cute girls doing cute things fans are popping off right now. This one's also an anime original. Same with Bochi the Rock. These are both like anime originals,
Uh-huh.
and they're both cute. This one's really cute. It's about a do-it-yourself club where you build things, and it's cute. And I really like the art style.
Yeah.
It's like
Nice.
a little crude in its art, and it's got like really flat colors, and it's cute. It's very
Yeah.
cute. I recommend it.
Noted.
This show is like I, I,
Yeah.
this show's about ASMR.
Really?
It's a TV short, and it's about a dude who dies and gets reincarnated as like an ASMR head mic thing.
Oh no.
Like there's like mics that are shaped like a head,
Oh no.
and then it's like anime girls like doing shit.
Oh no. That can't
It's
be
so
good.
ridiculous.
That can't
It's
be
so
good.
ridiculous. It's just stupid. Just like I have to keep watching it. It's just like why? Why is it? So yeah, I give that a recommendation. Also, the dude who is voice acting, playing the head itself, is I Tomokazu Sugita. It was just his voice is so nice.
Really?
So yeah, so I give the show my purest recommendation, Anime
I
of the Year
see.
award. Next show, Bibliophile Princess. This is just a shoujo.
Uh huh.
I only watched the first episode so far. The second episode has come out. I still have to watch it,
Well,
but it's just
arguably you
like,
don't have
you
to,
know,
but
yeah, I guess that's true. Cute girl, and she's like, "Oh my god, I am a girl. I read books," and then she kind of gets married off to
uh
this
oh.
like hot dude, hunk guy, but she doesn't really care.
Yeah.
Like they agreed to get married for the sake of his political power, and so that she can just live in peace and read books. But then she might have actually feelings for this guy, but he's talking to another girl
Yes.
or something. And also the castle is filled with like 300 other hot dudes. It's very shoujo.
Yeah. Interesting. Not very. Huh. Ugh.
I'll have to wait to see if the second episode gets like more interesting. Hopefully, it becomes like completely stupid soap opera.
Yeah.
Now I continue to watch. I don't. Show after this, Akiba Maid War. I've liked the show so far, but hopefully it doesn't get redundant because it could fast.
Yeah.
It's about maids in Akihabara, but
Interesting.
the gangs, and the maids are actually all gangs, and they all fucking shoot each other, and like crime and gambling, and oh my god,
That actually
and
sounds
it's
really good.
the main characters. Yeah, the first episode is really fun. I really liked it. The main
Yeah.
character is like just wants to be a normal maid. She wants to work at a normal maid cafe, and that's her dream. And little does she know that it's like
Yeah.
the worst experience of her life. And she like works for this small maid cafe that is in complete debt, and so they have to like do these ridiculous things. But the
Oh,
second
lovely.
episode feels a little redundant
Uh
to what
huh.
the first had already done, and I hope that doesn't become a pattern with the show.
That.
I hope
Yeah.
it I hope
Hmm.
it pushes itself into more insanity
Uh huh.
and has more jokes there.
Yeah.
But it the first two episodes though have been really fun and visually it's really nice looking. So
Interesting. Yeah.
I give that a recommend. Fat
Nice.
recommend. Next
Added to
show
my
is on
ever-growing list.
yes,
Um.
Urusei Yatsura 2022. This is the based off of the Rumiko Takahashi manga, and
Uh
then
huh.
there's an anime that came out like what was it like the 80s, and I haven't seen it. I've seen a lot of other Rumiko Takahashi stuff like Ranma Half and
Hmm.
Maison Ikoku, which are both romance shows that are like super drawn out. Like she's really good at making extremely stupidly drawn out shows.
Interesting.
Like Maison Ikoku goes on for 96 episodes, and the two main characters, who are obviously going to get together from the very first episode, get together in like the 93rd episode.
Oh no. That's
After there's like
unfortunate.
just and it's
That's.
like so many misunderstandings. It's really fun though to watch because of how like ridiculous it is.
Uh huh.
And it's like a whole show built on misunderstandings. I actually really recommend Maison Ikoku. It's got a good dub, and it's just ridiculous because the main character is like a 20-year-old guy who just can't get into college because he's an idiot, and he
Yeah.
moves in. He gets kicked out of his parents' place pretty much, and he moves into like this boarding house, and everybody else in this boarding house is just kind of a piece of shit,
Uh huh.
and they just torture him in like the most hilarious manner by partying in his room and stuff like that, and just annoying him so that he fails all of his tests and stuff. But he falls in love with the manager of the place, who's
Uh huh.
only a bit older than him, and she's like a widow, and she's not over her
Interesting.
dead husband, and he's trying to woo. It's funny. It's cool. I like it. Um, but Rumiko Takahashi obviously really likes doing that for all of her manga,
Uh
and so
huh.
this feels like that's what Urusei Yatsura is going to be like.
Interesting.
And this first episode was kind of all over the place, and a lot happened really quickly. But it seems like it could be really fun.
Uh huh.
I hope it gets fun. The main character is like the biggest piece of shit of all time.
Huh.
Like he's just like just a playboy scumbag. Like he's got
Lovely.
this girlfriend who's going to like who's actually really into him, and he just can't just like look at other girls.
Oh god.
He's also played by Hiroshi Kamiya, the guy who plays Araragi, which
Oh,
is
that's
so
fitting.
great. It's
That's
so
very
fitting.
fitting.
Hiroshi Kamiya is going off this season,
Yeah.
and then one day aliens come down. These Oni-looking aliens come down, and they have the king of these aliens has a daughter Lum, and they want to take over Earth, and they challenge him to a game specifically the main character,
Uh-huh.
and he has to like tag Lum, and if he wins, the aliens will fuck off from Earth, and if he loses, uh, they'll take over Earth. And he's like, and he sees her, and she's like sexy, and he's like, oh my god, she's so cute. I gotta tag her for sure. I'd love to get my hands on her.
Yeah.
And it's like,
That
it's so
no.
stupid. It's
Yeah.
so stupid. It is. I like it. I like it. And then I mean, stuff happens, and Alum falls in love with him, but he actually realizes that she kind of sucks, and then he
Yeah.
wants to be with his original girlfriend,
Oh
and
no.
then she's just like super overprotective, and she's also like, I mean, it's just fun. It's very fun. I
It's
liked it
very
actually.
fun. All right.
Yeah, now that I get down to it, I kind of liked it. I hope it gets better and becomes a really good show that I can really enjoy.
Yeah.
Next show that everyone knows DigiCarrots is to celebrate DigiCarrots' 24th anniversary because DigiCarrot is the best show ever made from all of 1999.
Is that the one we
Um,
watched?
yeah, I showed you and the episode of DigiCarrot. I love DigiCarrot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is just 2022 DigiCarrot, and it's messier than the original.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I'd recommend watching the original DigiCarrot. Also, for some reason, this new DigiCarrot hasn't been licensed by anybody in the West yet, so
Oh,
you can't watch it outside of scans, which is just
that's
okay.
unfortunate. Yeah.
That kind of sucks. Um, oh, I think there's only like one show left. Good. Oh my god.
You've been talking for a
Jesus
while.
Christ. Uh, this show is Legend of Mana, the Teardrop Crystal. I fell asleep watching this show. Like I turned it on at like 3 o'clock one night. I
Uh-huh.
was like, oh, let's check this. Oh, I passed out. So I don't actually know what it's about. So
Noted. All
there you
right.
go.
Well, it can't have been that engaging if you fell asleep during it. So,
I guess not.
all right. Well, thank you very much for that
Yeah,
extremely detailed breakdown for
it's not.
the seasonals.
Uh huh.
I've definitely added more things to my ever-growing list.
You will
So
never watch them too.
I will also probably never watch them. But they're on the list, so I'm more likely to watch them than other things. I have them open in tabs.
Hey.
Yeah. But should we get to what we actually watched for this
Oh
week's
God.
episode and what we're advertising this episode is about?
No, I think I'm kind of done.
Yeah, all right. Well,
You can
just
take it from here, I guess.
all right, sure. So this week, I think we said earlier, we watched Spice and Wolf season 2. Which if you haven't watched our Spice and Wolf season 1 episode, go do that. So you get our hot takes from there. Um but overall, it's kind of just a continuation of the story, right?
Yeah,
Um yeah, it's fun.
more season one.
Yeah, it's more season 1. Definitely longer arcs, which
Yeah, I think there's just only two
there are
arcs
only 2 arcs in the season.
interesting. Yeah.
Which are there's I think pros and cons to that in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah. Um
I think it's more interesting for what this season did.
Absolutely. Well, that's part of the
But yeah, okay.
benefit.
Yeah.
But like overall, it's just more of the same thing. I enjoyed it. It was really good. Um, yeah. But so I mean, yeah. Do you want to talk about the arcs first, or
Yeah, I think we've talked about like the how it looks before
we
this.
have,
It's
we
like
have.
even though I think they slapped on an extra studio's name onto there,
Mhm.
I don't think the visuals changed like at all
No, not
between the
really.
two two seasons.
Um,
I mean, I don't even know what the time was between them. I think it was like
I
a
don't know.
year. So
Yeah,
yeah, there's not much time for much visual improvement, but it
yeah.
still stays good.
No, it stays good. Yeah, the longer arcs. What the first arc was?
Well, there's the OVA.
I did
You
not.
watched that, right?
I did not.
The OVA takes place like perfectly between the two. Oh my god! Oh my god!
I didn't
Oh my
realize it
god!
existed until I was like done with this
Uh,
season.
my god! It's like it is a really good precursor into the second season.
That makes
It's
sense.
just a cute OVA.
Yeah. Well,
between
I
the interactions
when I
between
found out, I
Lawrence and Holo.
yeah, I scanned it. Um, when I realized it existed. um,
It's good. I'd recommend actually
uh,
watching it.
yeah, maybe I'll take a glance at it after this. Um,
It's okay.
yeah, a glance. Uh, I don't know. So the first arc was I really liked the first arc. The first I liked it
Yeah.
better than the second one.
Oh, definitely. No, the first arc
Um,
is
so and let's
probably the best arc of the whole show.
I
Maybe
yeah, no, I think I
I
agree
really
with
liked
you.
it. I think it
Um,
was kind of the like the best episode in terms of or best arc in terms of like the character relationships.
absolutely. Um,
It's like where it comes to a climax for this
yeah.
series for this
Mhm.
adaptation.
I think so. So the first arc, it follows. It's basically, oh, there's trouble in paradise.
Yeah,
For Lawrence and Hollow. Um, and so yeah, I don't know. It was good. It basically they met some dude, and once he found out that Hollow was in debt to Lawrence, he decided that the dude decided he would pay off Hollow's debt and then ask her to marry him.
yeah,
And
because
then
he's a weird little baby boy.
yeah,
I remember
and
watching the show as a little kid and fucking hating his
I
ass.
don't like him very
It's like
much.
I mean, you're not meant to
I
like him.
know.
He's kind of
Um,
just this naive asshole.
yeah. And then he's like,
Like I can't take a clip. Oh man.
yeah, and it's he says, "All right, you'll basically sell her to me for 1,000 whatever coins."
Yeah.
Um,
1,000
and
rupees.
and so that there was a whole thing, and then Lawrence decided that it was imperative that he sabotage the deal.
Yeah, he
Um,
screws this guy's money making plan over so he can't get the funds to buy Holo
yeah,
by
which
manipulating the stock market.
yeah.
Which I think is a really fun bit. I think, okay, you want to like talk about piece by piece for this arc?
Yeah, let's do that.
Because, okay, I think I really like the first like 2 episodes.
Uh-huh.
Because this arc is like 7 episodes long, I think, 6 or 7.
6 or 7. Yeah.
And I really like the first 2 episodes. And the fact that I mean it's just like a slow setup where they kind of just they introduce him pretty late into these like first 2 episodes as well, Blonde
Yep.
Boy.
Hmm. They
And
well,
it's the first 2 episodes are really just focused around Lawrence and Holo. And then they introduce like the side characters a bit and a
yeah.
bit of what Lawrence's plan is for
Yep.
making money. Because he's always got a plan to make some money.
Always. Um,
But it's
well
very
no,
focused on the
they
relationship between Holo and
they
Lawrence.
hold on, sorry. I'm just they introduced
Yeah.
what's his face?
Ponytail?
No, the blonde dude. They introduced him in the first episode, but we only got a glance.
Oh yeah, he was like he
Um,
talked to Lawrence for a second.
they did a really good job of kind of making him a part of the world and
Hmm.
not making him seem kind of like just like some random slightly friendly guy.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
they introduce him at the same time, so they introduce all these other characters for this arc,
exactly, which
and so he doesn't seem super significant, even
which
though
I
he's like
think
the
that
main
was really well done.
antagonist.
Um,
Yeah,
so I
I
really
think
appreciated that.
I liked the focus on like the relationship between the two because it's like
Yeah.
I mean that's the driving force of the whole show, but
Yeah.
definitely the driving force of this arc as Holo just goes, you know what, I'm
Hmm.
kind of pissed
Yeah.
at you right now, okay?
Yeah.
And it becomes like a moment of Lawrence having to decide about his feelings. That's what this arc is all about. How does Lawrence
Absolutely.
actually feel about Holo? Or is he just flirting? Ooh.
Oh no, commitment. Oh, no, I genuinely loved this arc. It was
I I love the fact that Holo in this arc was really just fucking with Lawrence the whole time.
absolutely,
That was like
absolutely.
the best bit. Of
And
she's just
and
like
Lawrence is
just
just he's an
being really
oblivious
petty.
idiot. He's an
Yeah,
oblivious idiot
yeah.
for the entire arc, and I love it. Um
He's like, oh my god, she's gonna be taken away from me. Oh my god, but how do I really feel? Would it be okay? Should I stop him? Oh, is it okay that she's in debt to me? Oh my god. And she's like, I'm like petty spiting this guy because he's kind of pissing me off that he won't say anything or commit to anything. What an idiot. So I'm going to pretend like I'm okay with this deal.
Oh, I
That's
love it.
oh my god.
Um,
The fact that none of that is revealed either
no,
until
and
towards the
they do
end.
such a good job of making it seem like Lawrence is just being run circles around too by
Yeah.
everything and everybody. And
Yeah, because
and
everything's
actually I really appreciated how they very intentionally remove Hollow from the situation.
yeah,
Um
she's not like she doesn't show up in a lot of the
which
episodes
is
in like
kind of the
talking
point.
roles.
It's kind of
Yeah.
the point of Hollow of Hollow and this arc in this set, like where it's
Yeah.
Also needs to learn to rely and trust Hollow more.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like,
it's all like the contrast between them being really close together in those first few episodes and then she's just gone.
yeah.
And the contrast
Um
in his life as well.
mhm. And it's just like, yeah, and and the part of the reason Hollow fucks with him the entire time is to also remind him, like, I'm a partner in this, uh not just like some tag along, you know?
Yeah.
Which was kind of which I find interesting because that was how they started. And then as
Yeah.
Lawrence
That's it's development. Ooh.
Lawrence catches feels, and then and then he starts to view his view of Hollow changes a little bit. Um and
Also think like her getting like the most petty spite on him is the most perfect tsundereism there is.
absolutely.
Of just like she won't say it. She'll just force him to say something because she can't say anything.
Yeah.
She's too embarrassed to. She's like, you have to say it, not me.
Absolutely. I don't know. I loved this. I loved it.
No, yeah.
And it was also really interesting
The
um
pyrite shorting
yeah.
and the stock manipulation. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun.
That was fascinating. And then also just the lore keeper, whatever her name was.
Oh,
Um
the witch lady.
Diona, that was her name.
Yeah.
Um I liked her. I liked her character and I liked her involvement. It
Mhm,
wasn't much, but it was notable, I think. Um
mhm.
and
I mean,
then
she was vital to the story.
absolutely. Absolutely. And then on top of that, it's revealed that Lawrence is aware of the fact that Hollow's village is probably destroyed.
Yeah.
And that's like becomes another big aspect in what happened. Um, which was really interesting because it brought up the point of, well, if Hollow doesn't have a place to go, what's the point of them staying together?
Mm.
Um, which is obviously like they like each other, um,
It was
but
really just yeah for the
yeah,
characters to figure that out, and it was a
exactly,
really yeah it was a good way of doing that, and then still integrating the economic element to it,
exactly,
which I
exactly.
think is just a little bit more advanced
Yeah.
than like everything else that had come before that, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good little piece. There's
Yeah.
also I really like the very tense situation of that like stock market area where everybody's yelling numbers and prices and like abacuses are flying. And like
Yeah.
the how tense that scene is for Lawrence as he's trying to like get it's very well directed part. I really like that part. Just
Yeah.
he's like, I gotta do this thing, and all these things are falling through for him as he's trying to like manipulate the stock prices, and nobody else is like doing this with him. It's just like oh, I
Yeah.
lost. I'm fucked. No.
No. And then obviously we get it all turns out well in the end,
Yeah,
which is
I
nice.
really do like the like ending bit
Uh-huh.
during the festival,
Yeah.
right? And those, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It was really
festival
sweet at
dance.
the end. It was nice and it was sweet and I liked it. Made me happy. Gave
And
me
that
all the
ties in like
gave me all the warm and
ties in
fuzzies.
really well to the opening as well.
Yeah.
And then just like the opening really just sums up that arc when you
Mhm.
watch it. You're like, oh, wait, that was just the first arc, pretty much.
Yeah. Um no, it was nice. I yeah, and then I don't know, it was I had mixed feelings about them following it up with that next arc.
I mean, I
Uh,
feel like that was just kind of the chronological arc,
it was a
probably.
chronological arc, yes, but I feel like
Yeah, it's not the strongest
it's
second
just
arc.
not the strongest second arc. And
I mean,
also
yeah, it's
it
coming off of the best arc in the series.
there's that, but also I mean, I think that while we had a lot of the they maintained a lot of the like feelings development from the first arc.
Mhm.
They I feel like they backpedaled a little bit on the character development for Lawrence in the second arc. Um like cuz and his reliability and willingness to partner with Hollow rather than do it all on his own.
Mm,
Cuz he was just doing it all on his own again this second arc. It felt like,
mhm,
you know. And so that was just interesting. That's part of my gripe with the second arc, I think.
I
Um
yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
They had some of it. He definitely talked to Hollow more
No,
during this
I
arc.
think you can't have the immediate growth where he's just gonna be like,
That's
"Oh,
true.
Hollow, I'm going to constantly now include you in things,"
That's
because that'd
true.
be a
I
bit awkward
guess
as well
yeah,
of having that like immediate development. But
that's
yeah,
true.
I can see where you're coming from with that, where it
Um
didn't feel like it was the like direct payoff that you would
exactly.
expect.
Though arguably, I mean, we don't know how much time passed between the two. I kind of
Yeah, that's
assumed it
true.
was immediately after, like the next town, but there might have been a little bit of time, and Lawrence kind of
Yeah, I mean, I haven't
didn't
read
have
the light novels,
yeah.
so don't know what the
He
pacing is
didn't have
like.
the super dire, oh right, I remember why Hollow is so important. So he kind
Mhm.
of backpedaled a little bit. So that does make sense a little bit if you think about it that way. Um I don't know. I don't dislike the second arc.
No, it's still good.
I just think it's un, unfair to it that it came after the best arc in the series.
Yeah,
Um
because it's very hard to have also have like a really climactic moment. I mean, the ending is, I mean, it is
I was
climactic, but in a very laid back sense. Like
yeah.
the events that transpire are like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
But in a very laid back sense, which I
There
think is an interesting way of doing that as well.
absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. I was a little confused by the ending, honestly. The pacing felt a little off.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know.
Oh,
It
the fact that it kind of just ends, or
yeah, that kind of
yeah.
I don't know. I also kind of spaced out a little bit at the towards the end of the last episode, so that probably
Did you
doesn't
watch it
help.
like 2 a.m. last night?
What?
Did you
Oh
watch it
no.
like 2 a.m. last night?
I watched the last episode about 10 minutes before I texted you.
Oh, okay. Well,
Um
wow.
so yeah, but um it
I think it's
was
interesting. I mean, yeah, I don't have much to say about it.
mhm.
On the
It felt less cohesive
less
than the first
memorable.
arc.
It's yeah,
That's
it's just less memorable. I think.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't have too
Let
much to
the,
say about it. Bits
yeah.
of it kind of remind me. You haven't seen Aka 13 because you haven't seen shows.
You're
Because
right. I haven't because I just don't
okay,
watch that much.
I'm gonna talk about Aka 13
All
because
right.
not
Tell
enough
me
people
about
have
it.
talked about this show, and I really like it. And it is such a vibe of a show. Aka 13 is a Studio Madhouse show directed by Shingo Natsume, the dude who directed Space Dandy
Uh-huh.
and One Punch Man, and then like more recently Sunny Boy and the new
Yeah.
season of the Tatami Galaxy.
Uh-huh.
And this dude does not miss. I'm convinced. This show is like not even like it's probably like one of my less favorite shows of his,
Mhm.
but it's like it's still like I'd give it like an 8 to a 9 out of 10. It's a banger.
Yeah.
But it's definitely about like it's very politics heavy,
Mhm.
but it's all about like it's at the same time really relaxed, even though it's covering the topic of a potential coup d'état and
Huh.
like a a nation that might break out in civil war, might completely collapse or be overthrown, and all this stuff is happening internally. But the main character is just so relaxed, and everything he does is so laid back about this.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's not directly involved while still being directly involved, where he doesn't know everything and he's not the
Mhm.
person making the big decisions, and he's just kind of watching it as another cog and
Uh-huh.
part of this process. It just kind of reminds me of this bit, especially
Yeah.
the ending being this coup d'état of
Uh-huh.
this second season. I'm not going to spoil the ending of Aka 13. I mean, watch that. Very interesting show.
Noted.
It's very relaxed. That was definitely cool. You can just like turn it on and listen
Hmm.
to it.
All right.
I really liked that show from a political standpoint. I think it's just interesting as how to launch. I really liked it, but I
Uh-huh.
think a lot of it was very connected to this in a sense of the fact that it's like Lawrence and Hollow are just kind of there, and they have an effect on the politics of this like village,
Hmm.
but at the same time are just another like cog in what is already going to happen.
Yeah.
And like it's they are not the reason, they're not the cause or the effect or anything like that. They're just there and they're just a part of it. And they
Uh-huh.
witness it kind of from the sidelines where they're not really too affected by it. And they're just, spectators in this like
Yeah.
in these crazy political events. Just interesting.
Hmm. Yeah. I do want to kind of compare the first season to the second season and the
I
um
mean,
well, just I feel like in some aspects I kind of liked the shorter arcs in the first season.
mm,
Um just cuz we kind of got more snapshots than
yeah.
in-depth story, which was kind of a nice way to watch the development of their relationship. Um
I mean, I think the first between the first season and the second season kind of marks a definite shift
yeah.
in the
Well, and
show.
the
Where
last
the
arc.
first feels like very introductory, and the
Mhm.
second feels, I don't know, more together in a sense.
Yeah,
Or like bring it to that togetherness,
that makes sense.
being that major change between the two characters
Uh-huh.
and their relationship in a
Yeah.
sense.
Well, and interestingly, I mean, I think the last arc in the first season was on the longer side, wasn't it?
That yeah, it was also like
Yeah.
8 through 12, 8 through 13, I guess, because 13 episodes. Yeah,
Uh-huh. So that's I guess that makes sense that it kind of the
yeah.
first bit of season one was introductory, and then the arcs got progressively longer
I mean, it's
until
like
they
a
got.
lot of kind of like isolated arc-based shows, like with
Uh-huh.
the episodic arcs.
Yeah.
You start off with like a number of snapshot, really short arcs, and
Uh-huh.
then you either tie it into a larger story or you just have larger arcs
Yeah.
that look into certain aspects of the character relationships more, specific characters more,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
which makes sense. Yeah, but it is it's a definite shift in tone.
Mhm.
And
I don't
just
know.
the way it's in the pacing for
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely.
I
Uh
kind of preferred this season. Maybe it's probably just because of the first arc
I
and the
think
fact that
I
it's just
think yeah.
it's so good and it feels like a great conclusion in a sense of a lot of the character arcs from the first
Absolutely.
season. It feels like what the first season builds up to.
Yeah, the first season I do wonder what it would have been like if they'd flipped the first and second arc. Cuz I mean,
Mm,
arguably it doesn't matter what location these things happen in. So they could have
yeah,
just made the chronological switch.
that's true.
Um and I feel like that would have
I don't know. I feel like the coup d'état is like kind of the more interesting way to end the show as a whole.
maybe I
With like
guess
that spectacle. I feel like that last episode fits as the last episode of the whole series.
I don't know. I feel like I almost would have preferred a Ride into the Sunset ending than
Mm,
you know? Um, but
I
maybe
don't
that's
know.
just me.
I think it works in the way it's set up.
Absolutely. I'm not saying it doesn't
I don't
work.
have
I'm just kind of curious what it would have been like differently.
mhm.
But
I mean, you
um
could always rewatch the show at some point out of order.
you're not wrong, I could. Um yeah, I don't know. Overall, it's the same really good writing that we saw in the first season.
Yeah.
And acceptable art and
Animation, yeah, for sure.
yeah. Um I don't know. And I also I guess I kind of also liked there was less reliance on Hollow's like supernatural abilities in these
That's true.
arcs,
There
which
was like none of that.
exactly, which I liked because it kind of just it was more reliant on just their abilities as merchants.
Yeah.
Um which was nice. It definitely I think it brought the focus back to what the show is focused on,
Mhm.
in a way.
The super action, there's the supernatural action elements kind of just there because they needed
Yeah.
to be there in some respects.
Yeah,
They're like, oh,
exactly.
how are we gonna get this guy out of this situation? The Hulk becomes a big wolf. Boom. Oh,
And
look at
actually,
that.
and to add on to that, actually, towards the end, there was that scene where Hollow almost transformed, right?
In
Um,
this season?
in this season, to like, I think it was
Oh
in the
yeah,
last episode where Hollow almost transformed
yeah,
to like kind of get them all out of there, and maybe run away. Was it? Um,
yeah,
and then like Lawrence kind of was like stopped her and was like, "No, wait." And that's a
yeah.
very nice evolution of how it went, I think.
Hmm. To
Um,
lessen that reliance on her
exactly.
and become more reliable himself. Yeah. So
No.
be like, this is my responsibility. Just take responsibility as a person. And yeah,
Yeah,
not use her as a scapegoat while putting her in danger too. I think
exactly.
that's yeah. Yeah. It's interesting bit of character development.
Absolutely.
I really wish there was more. I really wish there was like another they
I
fully adapted the light novels. I wish they did that.
I
But
agree. I wish there was more.
no, I guess not.
Um, yeah.
Too bad, I guess.
Do you know if there's gonna be any future adaptations or anything?
Oh, actually, yes. Oh, Jesus, fuck. I think I should have talked about this because it was announced like not too long after we did the,
Oh,
or not so long before. It's Ukami to Koshin Ryo Shinsaku anime. Um, I can't fucking read Japanese. Jesus Christ, I butchered that. Yeah, it's another Spice and Wolf adaptation,
yeah.
and there's no other information aside from like a trailer with white novel pictures, like the white novel illustrations. You know those
Oh.
trailers, or it's
Uh-huh.
just here's the white novel illustrations. It's going to be a new anime or something. We don't have any idea who the like any of the staff or the studio is going to
Interesting.
be.
I
There's nothing about it at all aside from there is going to be another thing. Is it a,
uh-huh.
sequel? Is it a completely new one? Because it's like they have they're redoing Trigun, which is a banger show, banger show. I love Trigun. Trigun, good
Yeah.
show. What's Trigun? How about that? But Studio Orange, the studio known for making like all CGI anime,
Uh-huh.
is making another adaptation of it, starting from the beginning, and it looks like
Oh.
it's going to be a little different, called Trigun Stampede.
Uh-huh.
Which, and you're taking from the same framework of the manga,
Yeah.
so hopefully it's like, hopefully it still slaps like the manga and the anime
Uh-huh.
do.
Interesting. Yeah.
And Studio Orange sure knows how to handle that stuff. But I think it's going to kind of be like that, where it's just modern day adaptation. Even though the original Spice and Wolf came out like
I was gonna
14 years
say,
ago, compared to
if
like
I had to
Trigun's like
guess,
24 years ago.
my thought is, I mean, I feel like they'd have better luck doing a sequel than a
Yeah,
remaster because I think that there's, I mean, as much as the animation could improve on Spice and Wolf,
it doesn't need to.
it doesn't need to. And I think that the quality of the writing and the show itself is just not something that can be replicated.
Yeah,
Or I shouldn't say
well, I mean
not not something
the
that
show's
can be.
writing is the show's writing is like pretty one to one with it. I
Right.
think I
So I
assume
guess
it is with the light novel because it's well written.
so
I've
I
read some
guess
of
I
like the
would
manga adaptation
worry.
and it's close.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
worry that it would not be properly replicated in a new adaptation.
I don't know.
So I feel like it's a tough show to follow, you know? Um
Yeah,
so
hopefully it's something new and yeah, it just doesn't retread the exact same steps as the first one. I mean,
that's
even if it does
yeah.
like do some of the first few arcs and then it takes like completely different arcs to choose from,
Uh-huh.
and still maintains like the same. I don't know. If it's able to do it right, it'll do it right. You know,
Yeah, and if it
what it comes
doesn't,
down to at
well,
the end
we'll
of the
all be
day.
disappointed and Twitter will blow up about it and
Spice Wolf?
it
Does anybody actually remember Spice and Wolf? Nah,
I don't know. It seems like the kind of show that everybody enjoyed, watched, enjoyed, and moved
probably.
on. You know?
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. I guess I'm excited to see where that adaptation goes, and we'll see when it comes out.
definitely.
Um, who knows? Maybe someday we'll have a new Spice and Wolf episode, and I don't know.
Yeah,
But I think I don't know. I'm all talked out about this. What about you?
I've been talked out like an hour ago, so
We started an hour ago.
yeah. So I think we're done here.
Noted. All right. Thank you. Oh wait, actually, what are we watching next week? We should
God, what? Fuck if I know. We're watching
uh
uh
was it
Nissan Monogatari?
yeah, Nisa Monogatari. Um
Yes.
Sick. All right. So that's what we're watching next week. Watch it ahead of time if you want to, I don't know, watch with us. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I think that's it for us tonight. So goodbye.
See ya.
Late Night Anime is produced by Morningstar Productions. We record live on Twitch at twitch.tv/sleeplessbee every other Friday. Episodes are available on YouTube at Morningstar Productions, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for joining us.